Welcome to another episode of Trade Secrets, my
All
podcast.
right.
This is Candace Stewart. I'm your host. And today I have with me Matt Linesh.
Thank
love
you for
that
having
shirt.
me.
I really
Grandpa's
love
old shirt.
that shirt. I love that shirt.
Yeah.
So it's relatively unscripted. It's
good.
actually completely unscripted.
Oh, good.
The purpose of the podcast is just to, me to collect memories from my long career and get to talk to people that I love. But really just to show people that there's no one way to end up in a successful job in audio. So,
That's right.
It's the journey. Everybody's journey
Yeah.
is different. Matt Linesh, he's an amazing engineer, producer, mixer. I've known Matt for a while now.
Yeah.
For a
absolutely.
minute.
For a minute. Yeah.
He looks very young on camera. I think he's like 28.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, special effects,
Must be that
editing.
glow- it's the glow
We've
of
got
the-
it's the new AI filter.
It's the glow
Yeah,
of the newly
yeah.
married.
Yeah,
You
that's
are
right.
newly
It's
married,
newly
right?
married. That's right.
Yeah, that lasts for mine. I hope I still have that.
You do definitely.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So what we talk about, we're in Studio 3 today at East West. I have the good fortune, as many of you know, to be able to record the podcast in this incredible studio that I get to manage, which I feel so privileged. My engineer and co-producer, my trusty steed, is Keith Munson, and my videographer is Nader. Nader is rad. I never know how to say your last name. Da what? Dalul.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Dalul. He's handsome, tall, strapping lad. Anyway, so Matt, we're going to go back to the beginning. Where
to
were
the
you
beginning.
born?
Born in Santa Monica at St. John's.
Really?
I was. Yeah.
So
I'm
native
third
Angeleno.
generation LA.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, my wife's fourth generation.
Holy crap. Yeah, my husband
Yeah.
goes way back too. So
Yeah, our parents couldn't have been more happy that both families were here.
California.
So,
Yeah, oh yeah. I
yeah.
was actually born in Fontana
Wow.
randomly, but grew
Yeah.
up in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh man,
But that's
another.
but
story.
it's another story for another time. So what any siblings?
I do. I have a little brother, and he's not that little. He's taller than me.
All right, okay.
His name's Paul. He's a neuroscientist.
My dad's name was Paul.
Oh
okay,
yeah,
you know,
good name.
Okay, a neuroscientist. So
neuroscientist.
you're not going to be surprised at how many people I've talked to on the podcast who are engineers or artists or managers, whatever, and they have a sibling that's like an astrophysicist.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like, well,
we
my
split.
yeah.
know?
No, but this is like not unusual. I think
interesting.
Rob Goodchild's
Yeah.
sister is like some kind of crazy, super smart therapist, and somebody
yeah, I
else's was
kinda
like
remember that.
a
Yeah.
physicist or some
Wow.
shit.
I haven't
But
talked to Rob
but
for a
Matt
long
is
time.
equally
Yep.
smart. Now he's the older child, and I
I'm
have
the
a
older
theory
child, yes.
that the parents didn't have they had better nutrition with the latter
Yeah.
siblings.
Yeah, something was different. He's very smart. Yeah, Paul's smart. He works at Cedars-Sinai, and he specializes in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have to get that number
He
if I can
is-
remember it.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
That's right. I'll remind you.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
problem. I'll remind you. Yeah,
It'll be
no,
a sign.
yeah. He's a good guy.
And so, mom and dad, we've established native Los Angeleno.
Native Los Angeles. Yeah.
What's dad's name?
Jim.
All right.
James Linesch. Yeah.
All right. And what did dad do?
He was a money guy. He was a CFO of a few different companies.
Oh, wow.
Some you might know. He's CFO of a company. Like the last couple, he's CFO of Reed's Ginger Beer.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and then he built a still in our garage. And
Love that
Yeah, it
too.
was great. My favorite part about the still was that he made something called Hootmon, which he coined Hootmon, and the logo was an owl with dreadlocks and a joint in its mouth.
Nice. We
Yeah,
love
it
this.
was
Dad's
great,
a
yeah.
hippie. How old's dad?
69.
Oh, wow. Fuck. I'm
Yeah.
close to dad. I'm
Yeah,
64.
yeah, it was. I think so. Dad was born in both my parents were born in 54. So
Yeah.
that sounds right.
That's right.
So Hootmon was this culture like kombucha that he got from Europe somewhere, and it ate ginger, and the byproduct it put out was this high alcohol content. It was like drinking kombucha champagne.
Okay. So byproduct like urine?
No, maybe that's not the right word. Yeah, right.
What? So it's an
It
owl?
was the culture was eating the ginger, and
Ah,
then
okay.
what it was putting out was alcohol.
Okay, there's no
And
urine.
so
There's no urine involved.
There's no urine. There's no urine. Not unless you drank enough, And then so we'd have these parties because we'd have all this Hootmon, and it was wild. It was
Your
a lot
high
of
school
fun.
friends must have loved your dad.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah, my parents were very,
Yeah.
very cool too.
Yeah.
They were like the cool, much older, much different generation. But my mom was like the Kool-Aid mom.
Yeah.
So
My
what's
parents
your
too.
mom's name?
Marianne.
And what did Marianne do?
My mom was part of starting a school called FITM, the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in downtown LA. And so she was instrumental in starting the San Francisco department, but she ran admissions here for like 30 years.
Is she a designer in her own right?
Yeah, she's an artist in her own right. She dove into working at the school and doing that. And actually, it's funny. That's how I got into the studio world. So she got a student into the school, and the student's father was Jonathan Whitehead, who used to have, or still does. I haven't talked to Jonathan forever, but the Margarita Mix Studios was my first job.
Oh, wow.
That's where I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo originally for environmental engineering, and I kind of dropped out. I kind of forgot to go back. It was one of those things where like my friend called and said, "Hey, you want to get a drink?" I'm like, "Sure." And he's like, "I'll meet you here." I was like, "That bar is in San Luis Obispo." He's like, "Yeah, school starts tomorrow." I'm like, "Shit, I'm not going back to college." So did
mom and dad pay? Were you in trouble?
Man, it was fine. It all worked out. You know,
obviously.
It all worked out. There was a lot of stuff going on there, so it's fun.
But I have to ask. I have to go back. So,
sure.
So we started at birth.
Yeah,
now,
started at birth.
Where did you go to elementary school?
Good question. I went to American Martyrs in Manhattan Beach.
Oh, nice.
I was a beach kid.
Nice.
Surfing, skateboarding.
Yeah, me too. I'm an ex-surfer.
Oh yeah. And then I went to Loyola High School in downtown LA.
Okay, that's all coming back together.
Private school kid, you know.
Nice.
And
Manhattan Beach,
Manhattan
dude.
Beach. Yeah, my mom still lives there.
I love it. South Bay is
It was
best.
a very nice place to grow up.
Yeah.
It was.
I grew up in a great place.
Where?
On the I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, on the water, but not on the beach.
Not on the beach.
We have great beaches there, but not on the beach.
We were back a bit, but you know, I jumped on my skateboard and I was there in a second. Yeah.
It's nice.
And it was fun. Surfing and I played.
Or did your parents stay together?
They didn't. They divorced on senior in high school.
Oh, well, that's late. But
we're
good.
all cool. Everyone's good.
Cool.
And they're both remarried.
Okay, cool.
And
but mom still gets to live in Manhattan Beach.
Dad's up in Ventura. So dad.
Mom won the lottery on that.
That's right. Mom stuck around there.
Yeah.
So dad was making his Hoopman and his kombucha in the garage. And then my dad and I have a mutual friend, which is a friend named Bill Moses. And Bill Moses owned a company called Kavita, probiotic drink that you might see in like Trader Joe's, things like that.
Okay.
So Bill brought my dad in from Reed's, gave him his own kombucha line. So the kombucha that you drink from Reed's and from Kavita is my dad's brew that he made in our garage.
And his recipe, huh?
His recipe.
Wow.
And then Kavita got bought by Pepsi.
How different is it from the Hootman?
Very different.
Okay.
It's not that high in alcohol.
Oh,
you don't get that buzz. You know Hootman, you got high
I've tasted it like one time.
Yeah.
I've not had kombucha very
Really?
much. I've tasted it a couple times because people come around. They're like, check this out. But for me, I want the sledgehammer.
You're like, what's the point?
I want the high alcohol.
You would like the Hootman.
Although yesterday I was hungover and I did drink a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
And it made me feel so much better.
You tricked your brain.
Right? It was like 0.3% alcohol. And I was like, this is awesome.
That's so funny.
And as we often say, we don't like to promote any type of bad, if you're an addict and you're listening to this, God knows we support you in your recovery. But if you drink and you're responsible and you like to smoke pot and things like that, don't do drugs. Give them to me.
That's right. Invite us over.
Yeah, we're ready to come over. We'll bring the Hootman. By the way, I totally want to try the Hootman.
It's so good.
Is it still around, as Hootman?
No, it's not. He hasn't, but the website's still around. And I think the motto was, it was life's a hoot, so don't give a hoot, or something like that.
I love
whatever.
that.
It was cool. And you got high off it. I mean, the parties were wild. It was a lot of fun.
I love it.
So then Kavita sold to Pepsi because all the soda companies are trying to make a play on the better drinks.
A health market.
So Dad retired, and he's in Ventura now, and
Beautiful
he sails every day. So
I grew up sailing.
Yeah.
I grew up sailing.
Yeah.
I love sailing.
Yeah.
So I don't have a boat now, but it's a goal to get another boat.
Yeah. Well, you can come sailing with us.
I would love to come
Yeah,
sailing with
come
you.
sail with
Seriously,
us.
is his
Yeah.
boat up in Channel Islands?
It's
Or it's in Ventura Harbor?
Wait, there's Channel. He's in Ventura.
Yeah.
He's in
So
Ventura
Channel
Harbor.
Islands is just the one like up between Oxnard and Ventura.
And Dad's is in Ventura. We go out to Santa Cruz Island and
Dude,
stay
it's so
for a
nice
few
up there.
nights.
Well,
Paradise.
You know who lives up there that you need to hang out with is Nico Bolas. Lives
Oh,
in Ventura.
yeah, I do. Yeah, that's right. I knew
I know
that.
you know each
Yeah.
other, but
we
I'll
haven't
re-intro.
connected for a long time.
Yeah, I'll re-intro you.
Yeah.
He lives up there.
Yeah.
But my father passed away when I was like
I'm sorry.
16.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I carried around his ashes, point being, for 30 years.
Yeah.
Then my mom passed away in 2012, and I have a dear friend, Dennis Streeth, who's an incredible musician and producer as well. He has a boat up in Channel Islands Harbor, and he took us out on the boat, and we mixed our parents' ashes together off the boat, and it was crazy. We dropped them in the water, and it went into this like perfect spiral.
No way.
It was wild.
That's pretty
actually,
psychedelic.
I know, it was actually kind of cool.
It's kind of like the text that you sent me by mistake.
I have no
what
idea
was that?
what that was. That was like something with my car. I was texting Matt this morning, and this random like effect,
it's cool.
photo effect text that looked like a
I
solar
was like buzzing
eclipse.
the call box on here. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, it was like a solar eclipse. But anyway,
well, that's quite a story.
Yeah, so Matt's in elementary school now in Manhattan Beach.
In Manhattan Beach.
Yeah. And did you exhibit like an aptitude for music early?
You know, I loved music. I loved all the time. Was always staying up late listening to music. I loved that time in music too.
Oh,
because
man.
it was, No Doubt had just come out, and you had like
How old are you?
VH1. I'm 38.
Oh, he's so young. He's like new.
And it's when I started to. I guess I learned some instruments when I was a kid, but I didn't really practice.
Were you? I was going to say, were you a player? And we're talking about player as in musical instruments.
Yeah. I played a little bit of. I learned different instruments. Like I learned a little bit of piano, but I didn't practice. I actually was more into sports.
Wait, you're 38, right?
I'm 38. Yeah.
I got married when I was 38.
Oh yeah.
To my second
Me
husband,
too.
who's been my husband. Who's been my husband now this whole time.
Nice.
But so no real proclivity or leaning towards a specific instrument.
Yeah, I guess when I was in like 7th grade to 8th grade, I leaned in on the guitar, which I did get pretty into at that point.
This is a common thread.
Such a common thread. I mean, of course, electric guitar. And but I was always obsessed with music, and like I said, I love that era of music. And even now, I look back on that time in music. It's one of my favorite eras in music.
See, I would go like 20 years prior. Like I would start because I'm a huge British invasion person.
Nice. Yeah.
So I would start like 59 or 60.
Yeah.
And I would go 60 to maybe 2010.
Yeah.
Not that there's not good music now. There's great music now.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's
you
all
had
different,
no doubt and all that. And
yeah.
when I was young, when I was really young, because I have 3 older brothers and they were recording engineers and they had a band.
Yeah.
It was all like Zeppelin and the Who and the Kinks and stuff like that. Yeah. But for me later, it was Bowie, Roxy, stuff like that. But then REM. Yeah. Things like that. A lot of stuff that was recorded in this building long before I ever came here. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, for me, my father, we had our staples. Like we'd go down to Santa Monica.
Did your parents play a lot of albums? Did they play records?
They played records, absolutely. Yeah. And we would go down to Santa Monica during the summer on the weekend. Where the parking lot's on the beach.
Dude, yeah, and the pier is such a cool scene too.
Oh yeah, and we'd take the Toyota Privia, and my dad would open up all the windows and blast the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
And we'd just rollerblade around. And then as I kind of got older, I'd see all the older kids playing hockey. So then I got into playing hockey with the older kids.
I was a little bit jockey.
Yeah. And so I immediately was, from a young age, Rolling Stones fan. And every time we drove up to the Sierras, which was our annual trip as a family, it was always Paul Simon, Fleetwood Mac. I kind of like, those were my staple.
Dude, Graceland might be one of the best records ever done.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely. So, but I started playing guitar. But I was obsessed with music as a whole. And I think it was interesting, too, because I was thinking about it the other day that as a kid, I remember when internet dial-up, like there were no cell phones. I think I had a pager at a little bit of high school.
I had a pager, yeah.
And it wasn't until I was a freshman in college that MySpace and Facebook started. So I was kind of that last generation that didn't have that,
Or surveillance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was still going to
I'm anti-surveillance, by the way, in spite of these amazing, beautiful cameras that are in this room right now. I'm not really pro
closed
surveillance.
circuit.
Yeah.
And I remember, Sam Goody and buying CDs and stuff like that. And I have such fond memories of that time.
Well, I think it's kind of cool now. You've noticed probably like with Record Parlor and even I think Penny Lane's still around or Amoeba, of course. But you can buy stuff online, but there is no replacement for going in and browsing in a brick and mortar store. Because like you go in with the thought of buying I don't know, whatever it is you're looking for, whether it's an LP or a CD or whatever. And then you go, oh, I forgot about this or I forgot about that. Or next thing you know, you're buying King Crimson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or you see someone over in the corner, like, that person's cool. What are they holding?
Yeah, what are they looking at?
I'm going to go grab that.
Especially when you're single and it's a girl for you.
Hey, what do you have? Yeah. And also, I always feel like with an LP, the size of it, if there's a picture of someone's face, it's just slightly smaller than life size. So you've got this opportunity to fall in love with the person.
That's true.
And I always think about that.
I just came up with an idea yesterday, and I wanted to share this with Keith, who's recording us. I want to start a collection and try to collect every record that was recorded in this building.
That's a great idea.
So 6000 Sunset in all of its carnations, whether it was Western, Ocean Way, cello, now East West.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a lot of records.
Yeah, you could get the records and then you could put them up on the wall in the entryway.
Yeah, we used to have a lot of art. I was thinking more selfishly that I would collect these records
collect
and keep them for myself.
That's a good idea too.
But yeah, on the walls.
I'm
for
thinking
sure.
like, all right, you can make a tabletop book. You can market it at Christmas,
sure.
And then
we're getting plaques. And Blake, if you listen to this, Blake Rogers, who is the head of marketing for East West Sounds, who owns East West Studios, and God bless Doug Rogers, my boss, my owner, and his son Blake, who are amazing. I love them. Getting plaques outside of each room showing the albums that were done.
So
but
cool.
on the website, it shows it by decade.
I know,
So I can kind of use that as like my guideline maybe and find stuff.
Yeah.
But I forget. Even in the brief time that I've been a manager, I forget all the records that have come out.
Because there's so much.
Dude, it's so
good.
good.
You just think about this week alone. There's so much.
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah, it's
so
great. Yeah.
we love records.
We love records.
We're hockey, skateboard,
Napster
surf.
hasn't started yet.
We're rollerblading.
Yeah.
Listening to the Stones.
God
bless Dad.
Yeah. Skateboarding down the street.
You got to tell your dad when you talk to your dad. And you should talk to your dad today.
Yeah.
Tell your dad that Between the Buttons is one of my favorite records of all time by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, I will. I'm sure he'll listen to this.
All of them. But
and
this won't air for probably. It will probably be not until like April or May because we have a backlog of audio ones and they come out on the 15th and the 30th of each month. Trade secrets on all your various podcast platforms.
Nice.
But
you're really good at this.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, you are really good at this. Yeah.
I don't know about that. But so I love that you're sort of in now we skipped over middle school. Was there junior high? Was there
American Martyrs is K through 8.
Oh, okay. K through 8.
Just cruised on through that.
Oh, you cruised on through that. Sort of dicking around with guitar.
Dicking around with guitars, going to the beach.
Hanging out.
Chasing girls.
Got long hair. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
No Doubts Happening.
No Doubts Happening.
Hometown
VH1
band. Oh, yeah.
was the best then.
Yeah.
Music videos are happening.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing parties. Well, I guess the parties kind of started a lot in high school. We were the party house. So, yeah.
And even again, though we don't endorse underage drinking, you have to remember that in Europe, it's okay when you drink when you're 12. So just pretend like you're European.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Start drinking when you're like 13 or 14, but don't drive.
Yeah. Don't drive.
Don't steal your parents' car and drink.
Yeah. I never took my parents' car. Yeah. No.
Everybody knows you get your girlfriend
cars.
To drive.
Yeah.
Everybody
knows. Yeah, it's true.
Or boyfriend, in my case. All right, so playing the guitar, sort of a jog. Are we high school yet?
We're high school.
High school?
I think we're high school. So then I leaned.
Oh, what high school? You K through
Loyola High School.
Oh, that's right. You said that. Okay.
All boys private school, which is
Where
great.
is Loyola? Is it
It's
Westchester?
right down here near USC.
Oh, it's on Vermont?
Venice. It's on Venice, I think.
Okay,
yeah,
got you.
I haven't been there for a little while. Yeah, cool, awesome school. Still friends with a lot of those people.
Were you coming? How close is that to Manhattan Beach?
It's not.
I was gonna be like, what?
It was a commuter school. Everyone drove in, so I drove a carpool.
So you got a car.
I got a car.
What kind of car was
1994 Toyota Land Cruiser.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, that's
Good,
like the original
car.
Safari mobile.
It's really good. I've been wanting to get another one recently.
Dude, really good car.
Just to go out.
Nice.
Adventure.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then when I got, I was always a swimmer. Obviously, living near the beach, all that.
Yep.
So then I really kind of leaned in on sports in high school.
Did you get a swim team in high school?
Swim team, and I was a water polo player.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah, and so water polo was my thing all through high school.
I grew up watching actual polo with
Yeah,
ponies.
which is
but
great.
Yeah, but water polo, super fun.
Super fun. Yeah. I'll never forget. It was like junior year. Our main rival was Harvard Westlake.
Oh yeah.
And it was like the shot clock had like 3 seconds left. And I had I'm a pretty big guy. I had a really hard throw. So it was right at the end of the clock. I was half court and I
You have beautiful hands.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. By the way, just random.
I never know what to do with
They're
them.
very nice. They're lovely. You should play piano.
Yeah,
You look like you
yeah,
could do like a
yeah,
full
yeah.
octave.
Or at least
There.
hand model.
Yeah,
It'd probably
I
pay
did
more.
that.
It'd
I did
probably
that in
pay more.
college. I was
Yeah.
a hand model.
Really?
Okay, quick. We're going to tell you a quick secret here. We're going to go back to this game that's like at the very end
Right
of the
at
game
end.
with the
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah.
But when you're a hand model, they teach you put your hands up. You hold your hands up high over your head.
Okay.
You do that for like a couple seconds.
all the blood out.
And all the blood drains out, and your hands are smooth.
Wow.
See, there you
I'm
go.
going to be doing this
But it
all
only
the time. You guys
We're just
watching?
walking around like this. So wait, we're back to the game.
So
back to the game.
Yeah, to the
Sudden
game.
death.
Half court, the shot clock's going, and I tossed it, skipped, so you backspin on it, skipped it off the water right in the upper left corner, and won the game, won the
I have
season.
to ask. I don't know what a water polo puck looks like.
Water polo ball.
It's a ball.
It's
Okay.
a ball. It's like almost the size of a basketball.
Oh shit! I thought it was like a puck.
No. It's
That
like
wouldn't
this,
float. The
yeah,
pucks wouldn't float.
You'd really like.
Yeah, that'd
it's
be
like
hard.
skipping.
Skipping
Yeah,
a
like
rock,
skip rock polo. It's like the size of a basketball. They're yellow and they're kind of grippy.
Do you hit it with like a paddle, like a?
No, you do it with your hand, and so you're swimming, and the ball's in the center while you're swimming, and then you grab it and throw it,
Oh,
and you
okay.
can never hold it with 2 hands at the same time.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting.
So, and you're not really supposed to put it underwater either.
It's like
you
water
can
volleyball.
kind of, it's like
polo.
water soccer.
It
in a
is
way.
like water
it's like water
soccer.
soccer, and it's very violent because.
Can you
what
hit
happens-
people with a ball real
you
hard?
can- oh my god!
Yeah.
You can. Oh
Can
yeah.
you wear like face guards?
No, but you wear a thing that protects your ears. But what happens under the water is terrifying. It's awful. I mean, there was this.
Do you
move.
pull down people's trunks?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people had to go to the hospital.
Is it a co-ed team or is it male?
No,
teams
but
and
we
female
used to scrimmage the girls, and they
Yeah.
were brutal.
Oh,
We'd get
yeah.
out of the water, and
Oh, yeah.
we'd have bloody scratches all over us.
Nice.
And we hated scrimmaging the girls. But
Dude, I played lacrosse. Lacrosse is brutal.
Lacrosse is brutal. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
It is.
Yeah, there's a move where, like, when you're swimming, you hit the person's head behind you or
Oh.
next to you.
Okay.
This guy kept
Take him down.
take him down. This guy kept doing it to me, and I'll never forget. I got on the ball, and I go up, and I just adjust my throw a little bit. Hit him in the face, and blood went everywhere.
break
the
his nose?
game, Yeah, the game was over. I got in a lot of trouble.
But
and,
wait, but
I'm
back
not
to
ru-
this. He's not a hater.
I'm
He's a
not
nice
an-
guy.
But sports, I want
out of
to
my
just
way.
murder
Fuck
the
it.
other team.
Get out of my way.
It's the only thing in
You
my
know?
life that I get so
Dude, all bets are off. If
Yeah.
I'm in a competitive situation,
Yes.
fuck you.
Yes. Exactly.
You're
Yeah,
going
right.
down. But that
Yeah.
particular game that you were talking about
Yeah.
in the last final seconds,
Yeah.
was that the one where you threw it and smacked him his nose?
No. That
Okay.
one I scored and won. We won the game and won the season. So that was really good. Yeah.
Hooray.
Yeah, sports. Actually, I'm learning 2 sports right now at the
Really?
same time.
Really?
So my wife is a boxer.
Holy
so
crap.
We are.
They don't piss her off.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to learn to box so I can stand up for myself.
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
Just kidding.
Is it like Thai boxing?
No, I guess it's just like traditional boxing.
God bless.
Whatever.
Right on.
Yeah. Later today I have my
Ronda
lesson,
Rousey, watch
too,
out.
And golf. I'm learning to golf.
Golf is super fun.
Yeah.
I suck at golf.
Yeah.
Okay, but my goal, this is my goal. My goals aren't really all that lofty.
Yeah.
My goals when I retire are these are the vehicles required for retirement.
Yeah.
It's the car.
Yeah.
It's the kayak.
Which car?
Well, I have a Subaru now. I'll probably keep that.
Yeah,
It's an
okay.
all-wheel. It's a
Yeah.
cross-track.
You can put the kayak
It's a
on top.
cross-track sport, so
Yeah.
it can like go in mud
Yeah.
and snow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
South Carolina has a lot of water,
Okay.
so you got to get through the water.
Yeah.
So Subaru, kayak, golf cart, probably mini bike or small motorcycle.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Flat bottom boat, which we call in the South a John boat. So you can navigate through the creeks and catch shrimps. So that's
Nice.
key. But really, the desired mode of transportation back to golf is the golf cart because
Okay. Yeah.
If I could get up, set the crab trap, get in the golf cart, go to the liquor store, buy the wine, come back, roll the joint, get the crabs,
You're in
cook
heaven.
the crabs, sit on my dock,
I want to come.
look at the market.
That sounds
you
great.
You should go to South Carolina.
Join me. Count
dude,
me in on that plan.
It is so
That's fun.
freaking gorgeous there.
I've heard.
As it is
Yeah,
here. As it is here. But
I,
we're coastal people. Okay,
yeah,
you people who live in the middle,
Yeah.
you have a unique and serene beauty.
Yeah.
I'm sure wherever you live, whether it's the Northwest or the Midwest or Arkansas.
You're not
gorgeous.
missing anything.
I'm sure it's
You're
all
not missing. Don't.
Fuck it, I'm a coastal person. You cannot make me be in the middle. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't.
Same.
I know.
If I'm too far from the beach, this is the furthest I guess I've lived from, because I live in Los Feliz now with
I
Sam,
love
with
it.
my
I love
wife.
it. So what happened to me
Yeah.
was when I first moved here in like '84. My mom and my brother lived in Venice, and I lived off of McLaughlin. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm gonna live by the beach forever.
Yeah.
No, you realize that gradually, what can you afford? And I ended up in Glendale and then Los Feliz, and now I've owned a house in North Hollywood for my husband.
We're
and I
pretty
for a long
close.
time.
Then.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I was talking to, well, there's actually two things tonight. First of all, you know why I started golf? I just started golfing like a month ago.
Golfing, I was gonna say golfing is a goal for me.
I love
really
it's.
golfing.
I'm obsessed. I
Yeah.
golfed.
It's hard, dude.
I golfed Monday. I golfed yesterday. I
Dude,
golfed
and if you
Tuesday.
walk
I'm
the
golfing
majority
tomorrow.
of the course.
Yeah.
It's an incredible workout.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sore right now.
Yeah,
you know.
it's kind of like you get a chest thing from golf.
Yeah.
And a shoulder thing that
Yeah.
people don't realize.
Yeah.
Second only, random connection to water skating.
Oh.
So water skating.
Yeah,
you're
interesting.
Like this,
You're
right?
like that.
It's all
Right,
the
it's
muscles
all-
across the
right.
chest and the
Yeah.
top of your shoulders.
Yeah.
Golf is very similar.
Interesting.
It's on one side, but
So
are you left-handed or right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Okay,
Yeah. So Ruben Cohen, Lurson
do?
Master. Yeah. So Ruben, he and I have been best buds. We
love
met
him.
when we were
I
both.
need to get him on here.
You should get him on here. Yeah.
Totally.
Yesterday was his birthday.
Oh fuck! I gotta call him.
Yeah.
All right, I'll call.
So Ruben and I met. I was the kind of like the studio assistant, personal assistant to Ross Hogarth when I was right out of
You
school.
know, Ross's episode came out yesterday.
No way.
Yeah, Ross's
I gotta
episode
call
of
him.
this show.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ross
Hey,
Hogarth,
Ross.
one of my favorite people. And Ross, I re-listened. I don't always listen to the podcast right after I record it. I'll admit it. But I was listening to it on the way in today, and Ross, you were so great. I love you so much.
I gotta listen to it.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah. So I was working for Ross for many years out of school, and then and Ruben was with Gavin. I guess I don't know how long he was with Gavin. So that's when we got to know each other. So Ruben asked me to be on the Lurson Mastering.
Gavin's going to be on here too.
Good.
Yeah.
Gavin's great.
He's best.
Asked me to be on the Lurson Mastering golf team for the tournament that's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
up.
It's on my birthday this year.
It's in spring.
It's
right?
at April 15th.
There we go,
It's on
yeah.
Monday. It's my
Right.
65th
Amazing.
birthday.
Are you gonna play?
Oh, fuck. No, I won't play, but I'll be there.
You'll
I'll
be there.
driving the tequila cart.
Oh, I'm in your card then.
Yeah, I drive the tequila cart
yeah.
and I go from hole to hole giving people
So
shots to make them play
fun.
better.
So Ruben asked me to be on the team. I said, Ruben, I've never picked up a golf club in my life. He's like, that's fine. That's okay. You'll be fine.
You got some time.
And now I got 2 lessons a week now. I'm going to be
you
ready.
Are you going? I used to play at that course in Los Feliz. Are you
Yeah.
playing at that 9-hole course there where Eat is?
I
the little
haven't
restaurant
gone
is?
yet. I'm.
It's a hard course.
It's a hard. Yeah, I'm pretty much at the driving ranges right now.
Okay.
With a coach, just trying to find, just so I can hit the ball.
That course in Los Feliz,
Yeah.
that 9-hole course in
Yeah.
Los Feliz,
Yeah.
and then the one in Studio City.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both of those are incredible training grounds. They're
Yeah.
really good places to learn. And then you could go to like DeBell off of Magnolia
Yeah.
or any of the courses near Griffith Park,
Yeah.
which are
Yeah, those
great.
are also. I mean, the one
But
in
do
Los
the
Feliz is
9-hole
right
course.
next to our house.
If you
Yeah.
learn on the 9-hole courses,
Yeah.
and this, if you're a professional golfer and you're listening to this and what I'm saying is bullshit, please call me or email me and tell me I'm full of shit. But what I've known of friends of mine that were golfers
Yeah.
was learning on those 9-hole courses and then going to the driving range. I mean, obviously driving range is important.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But it's just really,
It's hard.
golf is fucking
It's
hard.
really
okay, the ball is
hard.
that big.
Yeah.
And you're talking about distances of 300-400 yards.
It's crazy. It's beautiful
Yeah.
to be out. What does Sam say?
And you're outside.
You're outside. Sam says golf is a good walk ruined. Yeah.
It is. It is. I remember
Yeah.
one time my dad said that he said he wanted to be cremated because he didn't want them to use all the land for cemeteries. He wanted them to keep them as golf courses.
That's good. That's so funny. Cool. So it's on your birthday.
Yeah, the golf
Awesome.
tournament's on my
It's
birthday.
going to be so fun.
The golf tournament that we're talking about
Yeah.
is put on by Karen Dunn, our dear friend. It's for a really good cause. It benefits a lot of charities that help the hearing impaired and things like that. I don't have specifics on this year what it's going towards, but it's great. This golf tournament. It's kind of started by Al Schmidt and Ed Cherney, and God rest in peace. But yeah, no, I will not be playing. But yeah,
you'll be there. More importantly, you'll be driving the tequila cart.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait. Sure. That's gonna help.
You're gonna meet some people at that event.
Yeah.
That you've heard of that you may not know. A lot of great people that ended up going into post.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jimmy. He's so amazing. He and his brother work for Sony.
Yeah.
Fuck, I will get this right. And edit it back in when I remember. Anyway, so.
Yeah,
your golf, your water polo, your high school, you're kicking ass.
Yeah, you're doing the thing.
Beat Harvard Westlake.
Beat Harvard Westlake.
Sort of play, but then we shifted to where how did you get from high school to the studio world?
That's interesting. Yeah. So
what was that journey? Oh, yeah,
that
we
was
talked about college for a
interesting.
second.
College. So it's part of it, I guess. So my senior year of high school, I kind of backed out of water polo.
Did you graduate high school?
I did graduate high school.
Were you
I
good at
graduated,
school?
Oh yeah, it was fine.
Yeah,
high
we
school,
used to be
it
smart,
was
both
fine.
of us.
Yeah, it was fine. But that's kind of when mom and dad started. The divorce was happening. It was kind of and I sort of went.
Hard.
Yeah, it was. And that age, I knew what was going on.
Harder for them than you, I'll say.
Definitely. That's for sure. And so I really sunk into the arts during that time. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I toured all these schools. I think the reason why I chose Cal Poly San Luis Obispo is because it was the only school I visited with a couple of my buddies. So I was kind of it was the first time I left everything that was going on.
And it's close to wine country.
And it's close to wine country and the beach and all
beaches
that.
Are great. Cayucos, great Cambria.
Oh yeah, Morro Bay. Surfed Morro Bay every day.
Moonstone Beach.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Morro Bay's rad.
Morro Bay's beautiful.
Cold though. Mavericks is up there.
Yeah, that's right.
A little further up.
It's a little further, but yeah.
But cold.
Yeah.
See, this is the only thing. You're a California native.
Yeah.
And
Southern California native.
Yeah, Southern California native, exactly.
There's a difference.
Still cold though. Still cold.
Yeah,
and I grew up surfing in the Atlantic in South Carolina and going down to Florida.
Yeah.
And I was never very good, but I ended up going to the Bahamas. I lived there for a couple years.
Cool.
I went to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Surfing in warm water, way more better.
Way more better.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Surfing in a wetsuit's cool because if you're a girl, wetsuit makes you look good.
Yeah.
You look fucking. Nobody doesn't look good. Yeah, it's like the ultimate fuck Spanx.
Yeah.
Put on a fucking wetsuit. Wear that under an evening gown.
right.
You look like a goddess. But it's funny. I wore my wetsuit a couple years ago on Halloween. I played a creature from the Black Lagoon because my wetsuit is bright green on the side and black.
Yeah.
And I look like the swamp creature.
Yeah.
But it was really, really funny. But I
Was
still
it
have
really
my wetsuit.
hot? It must have been
It was
hot.
raining. It was a
was
Halloween
raining.
when it was cold and
perfect.
raining, and it was
Then
perfect.
you were-
And I was outside in the rain, and everybody was like, "This is a while ago. It's a couple years ago." And everybody's like, "Oh fuck, it's raining." I'm like, "This is awesome."
Yeah. You're dressed
I'm
appropriately.
like, this is great.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know how a wetsuit works,
Yeah.
a regular wetsuit has a section along the sides of the body that allows water in, and the water gets trapped between the suit and your skin, and it's the temperature of your body that heats up that thin layer of water, hence why it's called a wetsuit. That thin layer heats up from your body temperature because we're 98.6 people.
That's right.
That heats up and keeps you warm. If you're going to really go deep dive in or into super cold water, you wear what's called the dry suit.
That's right.
Which actually is really fucking
Have you ever
uncomfortable.
worn one?
I tried to put one on one time, and it was just, I got claustrophobic. It was too
Yeah, I don't think I could do it.
I've
I've
never
worn a
really
lot of
dived.
wetsuits, but yeah.
I've snorkeled and done snuba and stuff.
Yeah.
Pete Dell, he's a diver. And my
Yeah.
friend Brett Allen, who has an incredible Brett Allen Guitar Rentals. Shout out to Brett. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's a diver too.
Yeah. I never got into scuba, but we free dive when we go sailing out to the Channel Islands and stuff.
yeah.
That's great, Oh
yeah.
There's a little
Swimming with
lobster and the
dolphins.
dolphin. Yeah. And when the sea lions or the seals come up, they'll swim, they come right up to your face. And it's the scariest thing in the world. And then
They're so cool though.
So cool.
They're like dogs.
Ocean dogs.
Seals are related
Ocean
to dogs.
They
actually
look like
are
'em.
related to
yeah.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting because I am not afraid of the water.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of the ocean.
Same.
I'll get in
Yeah.
it. I don't care.
Absolutely.
And I have a lot of friends that are afraid. I'm like, well, they're like, what about sharks? I'm like, they don't want us.
No.
Now, when
yeah.
you're wearing a wetsuit, though, I will say it's important most wetsuits now have bright colors on them, and this is important because if you're all black, you look like a big fat seal to a shark. So that's important. And other fun fact for girls, don't wear jewelry when you're surfing or when you're swimming. Anything shiny. I learned this the hard way in the Bahamas. I had rings on the side of my bikini. Barracudas like metal.
Wow.
No, I'm okay.
Crazy.
But yeah, you do not want to do that.
Wow.
Actually, in Eleuthera, when I was in Eleuthera one time, I had like an accident, and I got tumbled around in the water, and I had a leash on, and I had a swallowtail surfboard, and I reached for my leash under the water. Don't do that either. I reached for the leash out of the water, and it came back and ripped open my eye.
Holy shit.
My eye looks fine, but it ripped
It
open
looks
my
fine.
eyebrow.
It looks great. Yeah.
And another surfer scooped me up and brought me back in.
Yeah.
I did. My board was fine. I got it, but scooped me up and brought me back in because obviously bleeding in the water.
Oh yeah, it looks like
that's a bad thing.
Yeah, that's bad.
Shark can smell blood in 1/1,000,000th.
Wow.
Of
miles
water.
Or something.
Oh, it's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, they're nuts.
Well, when I was growing up, though,
they're angry because
they're angry.
Yeah,
they're hungry.
They're hungry.
They're always hungry.
And they, they have to keep constantly swimming or they die.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be angry too.
I'd be pissed.
You can't. Yeah. When we were growing up, we were surfing. We were always told to only wear black wetsuits because if you cut someone off, then they'd remember it's that guy in the yellow, whatever. That's
really?
So it was a way not to get in a fight.
The seal thing's a real thing, though.
It is a real thing.
So maybe wear a leash with color.
You got to figure out a way
we're
to.
Booties.
Or booties.
You're wearing
something.
Churchills.
Yeah, exactly.
Churchills are. If you don't know what Churchills are, they're a specific type of fin that surfers wear. They're blue and yellow.
That's right. Yeah.
And they're short and wide, sort of like Keith's feet.
Yeah.
My assistant has very wide feet.
But he's wearing a great shirt.
He's very stable. He has on a Cookie Monster shirt.
Yeah.
So you get up to San Luis Obispo, and I can totally relate to that.
Fun.
Dude, it's great up there.
It's great, and it was good. I mean,
great town.
Great town.
Oh, yeah.
Good people. The friends I made up there are still my friends now, and I was only there for a year. I didn't do very well in school then, which is not my thing. I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't. But it was hard. Like my parents were divorcing, and when, the first month I was up there, one of my best friend from high school passed.
Oh.
And so I was just
and you go to
not
college.
interested.
You go to college when you're 18. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you should go. It's like marriage.
Yeah.
I think you should go when you're 40. You know what I mean? When you finally have some discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, but I don't think there's any harm in that. I think one of the things that's important about college besides education is structure and the socialization that happens in school in general, in high school, in all school. The people that you meet, you're talking about, those are friendships of a lifetime.
I mean, they came down to my wedding. That was in March, and but I studied environmental engineering. I think, is that mine?
That is your phone.
Excuse me.
It's all right. I'm like, what is buzzing?
It's usually so good.
I don't know. You could turn it off. I don't, mine.
You're like, you could turn it off.
Or you could just turn the audio off.
I put it on Do Not Disturb.
Okay, it's fine.
I studied environmental engineering when I was there.
That's very cool.
Which was cool. I was interested in it. It was like air pollution, water pollution, waste management, things like that. And I was in my dorm room playing music and all. But Did
you have a band ever?
I did. I had a band called the Mad Animals.
Oh, that's a great band.
It was fun.
Great
We
name,
had rock and roll. It was cool. I think about.
You played in the San Luis Obispo scene?
No, this was back in LA.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
not when I was in San Luis Obispo. I was just surfing a lot and playing music in my dorm room.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I'm surfing. I'm drinking Hootman.
Going to. I knew all the pizza joints. All the pizza joints
because
in town.
no one eats pizza unless they're smoking weed.
Yeah, that's right. It's essential.
It's crucial. Cold pizza.
Cold. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
I was taking the hot plate of my coffee maker and making mini grilled cheeses.
Oh, the best.
That was great.
Dude, so I have a tradition where I got one of those little George Foreman's, like the little one, and on New Year's Eve, it's become a little bit of a tradition. People would come to my house, whatever party we were going to or wherever we were going for New Year's Eve. I would make elaborate grilled cheeses for everybody before we went out.
Yeah.
And those of you if you've ever been to Mozza, Nancy Silverton's restaurant, she also was obviously at Campanile for a long time with her husband, who is now no longer with us. And they started La Brea Bakery, but Nancy had grilled cheese night every Thursday at Campanile.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of inspired me, because I would go there and it was just insane. Like the basic, really good cheddar cheese, whole grain mustard, sometimes grilled onion, on sourdough.
Oh my God.
Don't fuck around.
Are we having
it was
that
called
today
the original.
for lunch?
We should.
We should have
It was
that for
called the
lunch.
original.
Yeah.
And then I like to add tomato. I like to put dill pickles on grilled cheese sandwich.
That's good.
It's really
yeah.
good. But yeah, anyway, so.
Yeah, when I was at Cal Poly, they had a sandwich shop, and I convinced them that they needed to put the sandwich on the menu, which was the peanut butter banana honey sandwich.
yeah.
And then,
The Elvis.
and then eventually it was the Elvis, and then it was on the menu, But it was cool. It was a good time there. I mean, I was always collecting vinyl and collecting music. So
make the Elvis on cinnamon raisin bread
cinnamon,
and
that's a
roll
good
it in
idea.
powdered sugar.
Oh my God, that sounds. I
With
think
the
that we
banana and
should
the
do it.
peanut butter.
That sounds amazing.
It's insane. You know that
sounds
swirly
great.
bread?
Yeah.
It's like a staple. I can't remember who makes it. Anyway,
Yeah.
But you.
Nice.
Yeah.
No. That's great. I'm getting hungry though.
we're gonna have lunch. But
Yeah.
So wait, pizza, surfing,
surfing, vinyl.
band, vinyl.
Yeah, I was always,
What kind of turntable?
I think
Pioneer?
at that time I had a Pioneer or a Panasonic, and then I got a Techniques later.
Yeah, the
and
Techniques
then,
1200 was the badass
The
one.
MM1200. That's it's a workhorse. It's great.
Yeah.
It's just.
I have an Audio-Technica
3 of
one
them
in my
now.
office. Amazing. Really?
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Now, LPs.
Yeah.
Greatest thing, my favorite thing. I love to listen to records. I've
Yeah,
mentioned this a couple
same.
times on different episodes.
Yeah.
Hard to find real mono recordings.
Sure.
But listening, and we'll get to the part where we're talking about Matt
talking
being an
about-
engineer.
yeah,
We will.
yeah.
But mono recordings, when we're sitting in Studio 3, we're like
Yeah.
Mamas and Papas, and
Yeah.
a lot of Pet Sounds was done.
Right.
And I had the occasion to listen to the mono recordings. I was talking to Mugi Kanazia about this on his episode, and the mono recordings are so like rich and loud.
They're so
and
interesting.
it's
Yeah,
so,
really interesting.
I mean, obviously stereo is great. Now we have
Yeah.
Atmos.
Yeah.
The other thing about albums
Yeah.
one thing about albums that was slightly frustrating to me is how short they are.
As short they are, absolutely. It was like
Right.
21 minutes
Yeah,
tops
you're
aside.
You're flipping it,
Flip-
and
yeah.
I have to get up and
Get it,
turn it over.
Well, I think also it's interesting,
Remember
right?
there was a vertical turntable.
Oh yeah,
I think
that's
Philips
right.
made one.
Yeah.
It was a vertical turntable, and it
Yeah.
would shift to the
Shift
other
'em.
side.
Well, and then you had it so you could drop down.
Yes, of
of course. Yeah. I think it's interesting too right now with the vinyl world. There's vinyls. Obviously, there's a resurgence. It's
Yes.
exciting and all that, but a lot of it is digital recordings that are being then put on vinyl.
Yes,
And so that's kind of an interesting thing because
that's
now
counterintuitive.
it's a novelty,
Yeah.
but it's cool.
Well,
I'm
but
not
everything
trying to
you're
put
buying
it down.
now too,
It's
everything
cool.
and mastering engineers, we love you,
know.
and we want you to all be really busy. But also digitally remastered versions of some things, interesting.
Yeah. The last 3 records I've produced, and I have 2 I'm producing next year, are full analog, AAA,
Really?
recorded,
You
mixed,
taped the whole
and
way?
mastered. And the only time it turned digital is when Ruben did the digital master so he could put on the DSPs.
Right.
But the vinyls that come out of these records, of these albums, are full digital, are full analog.
And do you find the dynamic range and everything
It's
to be
completely
drastically different? Yeah.
Absolutely. The experiences. Yeah. In fact, I've had a couple experiences in the past year or so where I'll listen to one with a friend and then listen to the other version and like a week or a month later, and they won't even think it's the same album because the experience is so different.
Yeah, I think, we're not digital beings. We
No,
don't hear in
yeah.
zeros and ones. Our hearing is analog.
Absolutely. I really am at this point, it's post-COVID,
And
all that.
visceral.
Yeah.
Everything resonates. Your head vibrates. The bones. in
Totally.
your head
Gavin
vibrate.
Larson and I had a great conversation about this once. When you have him on, you got to ask him
all,
about that.
all
yeah.
the bones in your jaw and in your head and your sign, everything in your head vibrates when you listen with headphones on. And by the way, be careful with headphones. Those of you who wear AirPods and things like that, be really careful because it's not really that good for your ears.
Yeah, it's true. Well,
But
and
good for critical listening, but it's not that good for your ears.
I don't use earbuds at all.
Yeah, it's not good for your ears.
I can't.
You don't
listen that
need
way.
something
No.
up against your fucking
Yeah,
eardrum.
No, you don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
Not if you want to
Pushing
hear.
the earwax back.
Not if you
in,
want to hear for the rest of your life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, hearing is fundamental. Someone asked me if I'd rather be deaf or blind, and I said deaf because I don't want to run into walls.
Yeah.
But
You still want to
I don't wanna
drive
have
your
to-
golf cart.
Yeah. I don't want to have to be. Yeah. I don't want to pick either.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
want to pick either.
I don't want to pick either.
So you're in San Luis Obispo.
You're San Luis
You're
Obispo.
kind of losing.
I'm kind of losing interest in
Yeah.
academia, whatever, leaning in more on the music. That's where the transition starts. come back to LA.
Was there any type of recording studio up in San Luis that you had any adventures
That's
in?
a good question. I went to the radio station,
Yeah.
which actually, now that I'm thinking
College
about
radio
it, that
station?
one's pretty historic because isn't that where Weird Al started?
Probably.
I think that's where Weird
Yeah,
Al.
yeah.
So I went there a bit.
But this is the college radio station or the
Yeah,
local
the
radio
college
station?
radio station.
Okay, gotcha.
And I cruised around there a
Remember
bit.
the call letters? Do we know what they
No,
are?
I don't remember. I'm like, we're talking about things
SLO.
I haven't thought about.
SLO is San Luis Obispo,
Come
so
on,
probably
slow.
KSLO.
Yeah, right.
K-Slow.
Where are my friends, the slow friends? Yeah. And so I came back for summer break, and I was so happy that year was over.
How old were you?
How old was I?
20?
I don't know.
19?
I guess I must have been 20 then.
Yeah.
And, after seeing all these terrible grades, it wasn't common. I did pretty well in school usually. I was just defeated. I just wanted to go back to LA and face whatever was going on because basically the
Well, let's
parents
just
split,
state the obvious. The hard part of making it to college is getting up and going to
It's
class.
true. You are
I got a lot of
absolutely
other
right.
shit going
There's
on.
a lot of stuff going on. Absolutely. Yeah.
I never scheduled 8 o'clock classes after my second year of school. I think I worked full time, so I would only take like 9 hours a semester.
Yeah.
So my classes would be like noon to 4.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then I was bartending or working in a restaurant or whatever.
I did that when I went, because then I went to SMC City College.
Oh, nice.
And then
Santa Monica City
College. Great school.
Yeah, great
Highly recommend it. Yeah.
Actually, great school.
Great school. And so after Cal Poly, I just didn't end up going back. Summer happened. I was doing the thing of summer, having a good time back in LA, and I just forgot to go back. Whoopsie. My friend Josh Valdivia, who was my roommate at the time, I haven't spoken to him in years, called me and asked if I wanted to go get a drink with him. I said, yeah, sure. Where do you want to go? And I said, that bar is in San Luis. He said, yeah, school starts tomorrow. I'm like, oops. So that was how I didn't go back to school. Yeah. Very telling. And so, I went to SMC and then started playing music more. I worked at Adventure 16 outdoor retail shop, dove heavy into rock climbing. Worked there for a long time. Rock climbed every day. Went to shows every day.
I had a
played
boyfriend
music.
who was a rock climber, and he made me climb up parking garages.
Oh, wow.
He would make me climb in doorways, right?
Yeah.
Like out exterior doorways.
Yeah.
And then he became an ice climber. This guy's nuts.
Yeah,
I think he's like
that's
homeless
crazy.
in Yosemite.
Yeah.
But
As most.
Paul's his name.
That's
He's
what
amazing.
happens if you
amazing.
get into climbing.
But then he would make me climb like 3-story parking garages.
Yeah.
Like I'd rappel down the side of the parking garage.
Nice.
And you get in trouble because,
Of course,
you know,
yeah.
like, the
They're
cops are
like,
like, what the
"There's
fuck
no-"
are you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah.
But would tie off and rappel down. So
Yeah.
I was bad at going up, good at rappelling down.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever have gone to a rock climbers party, there's always a point.
Is that
where
a thing?
Oh yeah. If there's a bunch of climbers and they have a party at a house, there's people climbing the chimneys. There's people climbing the house. Once everyone gets drunk enough, it's like who can not touch the ground?
I climbed trees as a kid.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
never had any ill
Yeah,
effects. Never
yeah,
fell.
Yeah. So I was
So we're heavy into rock climbing.
Heavy into
dropped
rock
out of school.
climbing. That's when I also really started getting into the idea of recording music. So, always a music fan, kind of always played guitar a bit on the side, that sort of thing. Had a good friend named Patrick Doyle, who is a producer who now lives in Asheville, North Carolina. He's a few years older than me.
I might know him.
He he moved out of here a while back, but you might. He's been through a bit, but not for a long time. Actually, there's a funny story.
Great studio there called Echo Mountain.
That's right.
In Nashville.
That's
Very
right.
nice.
Yeah. So he had a Digio 1,
Oh, wow, okay.
and that was like, cool, let me see what that's about. And then at that same time, my mom, who was the head of admissions at FITM, the Fashion Design and Merchandising, admitted Jonathan Whitehead's son into the school. And Jonathan said, hey, if there's anything I can ever do for you, let me know. And my mom said, well, my son's interested in this. And truthfully, I didn't know a whole lot about that side, that side of the glass. Like I was all into the music, but I didn't really know the production world. So I interned at Margarita Mix Studios for quite a while, the one on Lincoln right off the 10.
Yeah.
And was making runs
Then
all
there
over
was
town.
one off of Cahuenga Pass at one point.
Yeah. I was having to do drives back and forth. And that was really cool. I was like, look at this.
Margarita was more post.
It was
and
more
a lot
post.
of jingles.
Exactly.
Advertising.
It was.
Yeah.
But it just opened my world up to what exists.
Oh, yeah.
And then going back and making music with Pat and doing all that. So that was cool. That kind of opened up my world. But then I'm working working at Adventure 16, and I'm going to SMC, and then I met a girl, and I traveled to Madagascar. And I went to Madagascar.
Actually went to
for a few months.
This is me
Yeah,
being this is me being very goofy.
I bought this was given to me while I was there.
Wow. Where? Okay, because I'm so geographically challenged.
Yeah.
Where is Madagascar? God, that's heavy.
It's heavy. Yeah, it's an island off the southeast coast of Africa.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I know it from the animated show.
Yeah.
From the
Disney
Disney
show is amazing. Yeah, amazing. If you haven't seen it,
but why
everyone's seen
there?
it.
Why there? Was she a native
Yeah,
Madagascarian?
Malagasy person? No, she no, but she
what's the
was
person from Madagascar called?
Malagasy or Malagash.
Oh, Malagash. Oh.
Yeah, and it's a cool place. I highly recommend everyone going there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I want to
very
go to Galapagos,
cool.
but maybe I'll go to Madagascar
is
instead.
amazing. It's amazing. There's places in Madagascar where there's plants on the side of a mountain, and that's the only place in the entire world that plant exists on that side of that mountain. It's insane.
And so off the coast of Africa.
Southeast coast.
So what ocean?
I don't know.
We're challenged.
I was doing so well. Shit.
Maybe someone will
Someone
fill us
help
in
out.
on what body of water is Madagascar is an island off the coast of Africa, and it is in
we're so American.
the Bay of Madagascar.
So American. Yeah, there we go. That sounds good. So yeah, well, she was on a Fulbright scholarship. It was very interesting. It was a
Smart
really interesting
girl.
point in my life. Yeah, and we, so I went there. We were there for a little while, and to the point where I started to learn a bit of conversational Malagash, so I could communicate a bit. Which was interesting.
What is the root of that language? Is it like a romance language, like Latin, like a Latin-based language?
I don't know.
Is it an African
It's
dialect?
an African dialect, I think. But then they were colonized by the French, so they fill things in with French.
So the patois would be like Creole.
So it's like there's 3 different ways to say hello. So depending upon what region you're in. So one of them's Salama, one's Umbalatsara, and one is Manawan or Manawana.
Interesting.
And then if you wanted to say like "What's up," you'd say "Invovo." And if you were like, nothing,
that's actually familiar.
and you'd say "Tsimisi vovo," it's like nothing. It's cool.
And
it's funny because I started to learn some of these words because of the music. The music's so cool. And the first word I learned was this word called it was anjas, and anjas means wait, which is a great word to learn anywhere you are because it's like wait. We don't need like no, we're not leaving yet, or wait. I'm getting in the car. Wait. And there's this song, this pop song by. Jean Aimé. Jean is such a good song. Jean Aimé. And the song was Anjasa Kafona no Sheri, Anjasa Kafona. And it's all about like, I'll wait for you, my love. I'll wait for you. And then in the end, she's like, I'll wait for your money. It's such a good song. It's a great song. Nice. So I was over there with my girlfriend at the time, and she was on a Fulbright scholarship, and she was studying the sapphire mining trade and how it was impacting the environment.
That's so bizarre because I kept changing my major in college, and it's a long story, but I was a geology major for a little bit, and I wanted to be a diamond cutter. I wanted to be a gem cutter.
Cool.
And I was doing really, really, really well.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get an apprenticeship at Harry Winston, and I kind of had the rude awakening. My professor was amazing, but I kind of had the rude awakening that like I was female and I wasn't Israeli. And so that world is still very much kind of if you know something about this industry and you know something different, I'm open to hearing about it. But at the time in the 70s, very much so kind of controlled by that. And so that was interesting. So I pivoted and went and became a psych major.
Psych major,
which was perfect for my job.
Yeah,
for the job I have now.
Absolutely,
for the job I have now.
Absolutely.
But so she's studying the impact of mining
so
on the environment.
When you mine for sapphires, I didn't know this till I was there. So we were there, and then we're going to go out to the sapphire mining village in the southern part of the island, and it's like the Wild West. We had to go 10 hours upstream in the middle of the night so we didn't get robbed. We're in this little canoe, and it was awesome. And we got to the sapphire mining village, and the way that they mine for them is someone will just find a sapphire stone, and then they just dig all these holes all over the mountain. And it just kills the whole mountain. You know.
Are they using explosives?
No, not when I was there. It was like shovels and axes and things like that. It was pretty intense. It was cool. It was really interesting. Actually, I had two very interesting experiences there. One of them that
Did you
had
get
to do
any
with,
really nice sapphires?
it's funny. I didn't. I thought I was. I so don't know why I didn't actually. I so don't know why.
You could probably have one the size of a baseball.
I know. Well, yeah, there's a lot of
Here's
stones
how I
around.
built my home studio.
Yeah.
I had a baseball-sized tanzanite.
I know. Looking back, I wish I could send a message to my younger self. But I had two really interesting experiences when I was out there, though, because one of them was that there was this place called Sept Lock, which means 7 lakes. And there's 7 lakes out in the middle of this rainforest near the mining village. And you could go to the top of it and jump off the waterfall.
So is it an arid place or is it a green place?
There's all different kinds of climates.
Okay.
You've got snow, you've got desert, you've got
How
some
big
of the
is
most
Madagascar?
It's big.
Oh.
I mean, it's like
Texas big?
I think definitely. I think that shit. This is also where
It's
I'm
all
showing
okay.
my American.
It's all okay.
It's big. Let's just.
Madagascar is big. Yeah. Has waterfalls and sapphires.
Yeah, exactly. That's their main export is sapphire stones. And so we had this experience where we got to jump off these beautiful waterfalls into a lake, and then you'd swim across the lake, and you'd jump off the next waterfall, and you'd go all the way to the end.
Dude, what about underwater sapphires?
Dude,
what about looking at the side of like you're down and you've dived in?
Those are probably really good.
Right.
Those are probably really good. Yeah, I might have to
go back
reach
to Madagascar.
back. Yeah, I was talking about going there the other day. So this other experience was cool. So they, at nighttime we were drinking beer. We drink a beer called Teach Bay, which is 3-horse beer. And then everyone's getting drunk. They're getting me drunk. They shaved my head that day, and I'm getting drunk. And then they lead me into the rainforest. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, well,
is it ayahuasca?
I'm like, what is happening right now? And but it's really cool. So we're going through the rainforest, and I can slowly hear like this beat. And then it was like right out of a movie. They parted the rainforest, and there's like 300 Malagasy people just dancing their asses off.
Like fires and stuff.
Not fires.
Is it like mini
more
Burning
like
Man?
not quite like an Indiana Jones type thing. More like a party, party out in the middle of the rainforest. And there's a generator, and it's powering like a guitar amp and a pan and bass amp, and they got holes in it, and they're playing. There's a drummer.
What kind of critters?
Oh my God! All kinds.
Is
of
there
critters,
like
spiders
cougars
like that?
What the hell?
There's no. There's only one carnivorous animal on the entire island, and it's like a little fox type,
or little coatamundi,
or something. Whatever. Dude, the spiders were gnarly.
It's like a bat.
They were huge. I would be sitting there.
But if it's that big, is it really poisonous, or is it just scary looking?
It's scary looking.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, I grew up with snakes. Also scary.
Did you read about how? They're in Florida. They're hunting all the big
pythons.
The big pythons because they've taken over.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They're actually not indigenous either.
They're not.
No, that's a weird thing. We grew up with like water moccasins, which, by the way, you think snakes are scary on land? In water, water snakes and sea snakes are fucking terrifying.
So scary.
But the spiders, huh?
The spiders are big.
Like size of your hand spider?
Yeah, like
holy
that.
crap,
like
bigger than your head?
Oh yeah, and then they'd have babies on the back that were like
hanging
also
out.
Huge.
What the fuck? They look like tarantulas?
I could show you. No, they're terrifying looking.
And what's the name of them?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I like blocked
he
them
was
out.
in love.
The first time I went into like one of the spider webs, it like was so strong it kind of stopped me, and I'm like, oh, this is scary, and I'm peeling it off.
Crap!
Crazy.
Crap.
Yeah.
So you don't camp out there. You gotta be careful camping because you
gotta
get
be careful camping. You get leeches. It's the only time you have leeches.
Leeches.
Yeah,
we have
are
leeches.
So, but there's the party and the band's playing. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And so they lead me into the middle of the group and the music, and it's like 1:00 in the morning. Everyone's drunk. I'm drunk. The music stops. The band, like everyone stops dancing, and everyone does this big circle around me, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this is really uncomfortable." I'm really uncomfortable right now. And then the band starts playing again, and they come out, and we all start dancing, and then we dance till sunrise.
They just welcome
It
you
was
into the
so
tribe.
Fun.
Do they have like native tribesmen there?
No.
They're just regular people.
They were regular people. Yeah, they're
like head shrinkers. Or,
no, I mean not that I knew of, but no, they were cool. It was fun, and so that trip was pretty important to me because it was kind of the first time since all this stuff had gone on that I sort of went off, experienced something so disorienting, And when I got back,
did you surf there?
I didn't surf there. No, we did. I didn't surf there. I did go to
but
the
you went
beaches
swimming,
and
yeah.
stuff. Went swimming, stuff like that. Went and saw the lemurs.
I'm so obsessed
all
with
that.
lemurs.
I know, and they're just as cool in
They're
person.
so sweet.
They jump on you and grab your hand, and you're like, wow.
Shout out to my friend Patty, who ran for many years. The Patty Hall, who ran the Gulf Shores, Alabama Zoo, which is a zoo in Gulf Shores, Alabama, that took in, animals like a rescue situation where, like, if you were a rock star and you had a tiger, by the way, don't get a tiger.
Yeah.
And she saved all these animals, and I went to her. Yeah, save a tiger.
Yeah.
But I went to her. I went to her zoo, and the first thing I did was she put me in with the lemurs, and I'll show you a video after this. And they're crawling all over me. Oh my God, they're so
cool.
wonderful and so soft and so sweet.
Yeah.
And I got to feed a big Siberian snow tiger with a bottle, and his mate. He is with us still. His name is Raja, and her name is Rane. He's a white Siberian tiger.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But all shout out to the people who look out for animals.
Yeah, that's right.
Lemurs are jumping from the trees.
And there's all different sizes. There's lemurs that are like this big.
Yes.
And then there were lemurs that were like this tall.
No way.
Yeah, but they were hunted.
They all jumped off the cliff.
They got hunted, but they were huge. Big
Well, they
lemurs.
probably ate them.
They did. They got hunted them for food. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So anyway,
sorry
Madagascar.
About that. Sorry about that, lemurs.
Yeah, sorry, lemurs. But they're so cool.
What's the other one? Meerkats.
Meerkats, yeah. And also the cool thing in Madagascar are the baobab trees. I think there's something like 8 different kinds of baobab trees, or 9, and 8 of them are only found in Madagascar, and one of the other ones you can find in other
Do they
parts
have
of
like
Africa.
fruit?
No, they're the ones with the big fat trunks that have the little tops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, they're cool.
And monkeys?
Well, yes, actually. Well, mostly lemurs. Okay, I have this memory. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a good story. There's this kind of lemur that, most animals in the animal kingdom have. It's like a female, and then all the males are trying to get her to mate with, So there's this competition between the males and the females. So there's this one lemur, I think, that is the opposite. It's a male, and all the females are chasing him.
Yeah, baby.
And the way, and I hope that...
Is he colorful? All the males in species are colorful.
They're beautiful looking.
Yeah.
But the way that they pick is that he sings, and they harmonize, and whoever harmonizes best is who he picks.
I love that.
Now, I might be making this. I've been known to indulge things. But it's a good story, and I do remember being in Madagascar and laying in the rainforest, and this whole group of this species of lemur came over to where I was sitting and started singing, and it was awesome.
What do they sound like? Is it a pretty sound?
Beautiful sound.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful sound. I don't know if I can imitate it.
I love all creatures, and even crows.
Yeah.
But crows have an interesting sound.
Yeah.
And
when they're
talking to each other, but their caw is not a pretty sound.
No, it's pretty intense.
Yeah,
it's pretty intense.
Do they follow your movements, crows?
Yeah. My dad was in a battle once with a murder of crows in our old place.
Yeah, they're not.
They learn you. They
follow they follow your routine.
Yeah, they follow your routine.
Interesting. So lemurs.
Yeah,
rainforest. Now, how long were you in Madagascar?
I think I was there a couple months.
You might be the only person I know that's ever been to Madagascar.
Oh yeah, you should go. When I was there also, I was fascinated by the music and the instruments. A lot of them were homemade there. So we went to there's one village in Madagascar, I wish I could remember the name, that makes all the instruments.
Oh, wow.
And I had all these instruments made and went off. And then one day I was...
Are they like mainly percussive, like gourds and things?
That's interesting. Yes, they kind of are. It's like I have two. I have three actually. One of them is a gourd, and then it has strings on it that has basically 3 frets, and then there's 8 other strings that's for percussion.
That is
It's
so
really cool.
cool.
Yeah. And then I have another guitar that's like a box, kind of a big box, and it has frets. There's 6 strings, 3 pairs of strings, and but the frets don't go all the way across. So basically, when you play, you're just kind of barring, and where like a fret might be a quarter, or like get a couple of the strings or half the strings.
That's
It's
trippy.
really cool. I think that's called a Tuliar or something. I think that's the name of that instrument. And then I have a third instrument that's a piece of bamboo with strings all around it, and you play it like this.
Oh, how
And
fun.
Really cool. So I
Like
got
a harp, like a vertical harp.
like a
Oh,
like a
crazy.
cylinder harp.
Well, crazy.
Really cool. So I got into the instruments. So I went to the town where all these instruments are made, and I was gonna write an article about it and do this whole thing, but
You can still do it.
whatever. Yeah, I don't think I can remember enough now. But I had all these instruments made, and then I went on my way, and weeks later I was sitting on the beach, and some random person walks up and hands them to me. I have no idea how they found where I was on the island. I mean, I was far away from the village.
Wow.
So I have them. They're hanging in my studio now.
Oh, I love
They're cool.
that.
Yeah, they're really cool.
So Madagascar instruments, getting into really just specific types of music,
Yeah.
and then you are back in LA.
No, I came back, and then I
Was
moved
Madagascar
to
after Margarita Mix or
After.
in between? Okay,
It was
got it.
after, and so then I moved up to Berkeley for a while,
Oh, cool.
which is where I took my first Pro Tools class, actually,
Okay.
at Berkeley City College. And one of the things that happened to me when I was away in Madagascar was my girlfriend at the time, she was 4 or 5 years older than me. She was getting her master's at Cal. And I loved how she had specialized in something, and people really respected and appreciated her knowledge and expertise about the subject. So I did this thing where I decided that I wanted to specialize in something, and like I wanted that path,
That fulfillment.
So I sat at the kitchen table, and I put sticky notes on the table, and I wrote everything I've ever been interested in on the sticky note.
Oh, I love this.
Put it above my bed, and then every
It's
week,
like a vision board.
Yeah, right. And the rule that I made for myself was that every week or so I'd take it down, and whatever was left up last, I was going to do for the next 10 years of my life, no questions asked, even when it got difficult or whatever. So weeks go by, and the last 2 things that are up on the wall is music and optometry. I always want to be an eye doctor.
Dude, that's crazy.
So crazy.
Are your eyes perfect?
No.
Mine
No.
are you wearing
Yeah,
contacts
I'm wearing
right
contacts.
now?
Yeah. I would need assistance without my
I know.
contacts. I can't see at all.
I can't wear contacts because they don't actually correct my vision enough. I have like a severe astigmatism.
Yeah.
And I'm praying for when my cataracts get worse, because if I get cataracts really bad, then they'll go in and they'll do LASIK.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they want to do a lens replacement
Right.
actually,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure is going to change my life.
Sure, of course it
Right,
will.
but I've worn glasses since I was 4.
Since you were 4.
I know, and I used to take the
Wow.
you'd have the
That's cute.
lame
That's so
strap,
cute,
But I
yeah.
would throw them away, and my mom would be like, "Candace, wear your glasses," and I'd be like, "Okay, I threw them away." She'd be
Yeah.
like, "Go get them."
Oh my
you
god,
know?
that's so funny. That's really funny.
You know, when you're a kid and we
Yeah.
were talking earlier, Matt has
Yeah.
a beautiful, well, you can see him. He has a beautiful smile. But, you have
Thank you.
braces, or I had
Yeah.
really I still have frizzy hair, but I have a lot of it, and,
Yeah.
braces and glasses. And I think I had like corrective shoes. Just shoot me. You know what I mean? Like whatever. How gimpy can we be? And then you go back to like your high school reunion, and you're fine. You're in your
fine.
40s or 50s, and
Yeah,
you're fine. And
yeah.
you're like, I'm cool now.
Yeah,
I'm
because
good
everyone's
now.
there. Yeah,
I'm good
that's
now.
so
My
funny.
teeth are
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
my eyes are cool. My foot's okay.
Yeah.
It's very, very crazy.
Yeah.
You
You're
know, I
not
just
throwing your
thought about
glasses
that.
away anymore.
I just thought about that. I had ankle and foot surgery on my right foot, and that is the foot that I had to wear the special shoe on when I was a little kid.
Is that foot smaller than the other? What's the
I
size?
don't know. I
Yeah.
broke my ankle and tore the tendon. I have a cadaver tendon in my leg that I've had for about 5
Whoa.
years now.
Wow.
But it's fine. It works
Yeah.
fine. It doesn't hurt or anything.
Yeah.
But Yeah, maybe it's the right
Wow,
side. You know?
interesting.
Like maybe it's like
Yeah.
slightly. Maybe my leg is slightly shorter. I think
Maybe.
everybody's is a little.
Maybe it
We're
affects
just gonna come out of the.
it affects your
it's
golf
like this,
swing,
like-
maybe.
Yep,
Yeah,
probably.
it might affect your golf swing.
That's probably why.
It might.
That's why I suck at golf. That's it.
That's
I've
gotta
been
be.
looking for the reason. That's the fucking reason. So I love this. I love this optometry
Yeah.
and music.
Yeah.
Optometry is very scientific.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
would have been.
very
I would have
technical.
enjoyed that.
You'd be a
I
great
would have enjoyed
optometrist.
it. Yeah, I would have enjoyed it.
Dr. Linesh.
Doctor, that's right. Yeah.
Doctor. Am I saying your name right?
Linesh.
Linesh. Dr.
Yeah.
Linesh.
Yeah.
Should I get a lens replacement?
Yeah. Like absolutely. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Anytime.
But those of you who
So-
don't wear glasses, you never know the thrill of having a doctor like really looking that close into your eye.
Yeah,
or
that's
blowing
right.
a little puff.
A little. Oh, I
The little
hate those
pressurized
things. Yeah.
puff on your
I
eye for
remember when I
glaucoma.
first got glasses. It was in high school because I was like I couldn't read the board anymore. I'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
what do you got?
And
And
headaches, you
I
get
don't really
headaches.
see colors that well too. I mean, I see
That's a guy
colors,
thing,
but like
color
yeah,
blindness.
and so I would be like, I don't see anything on the. It was like a whiteboard in math class. I'm like, I
Holy
don't see
crap.
anything. And then I went and got my first glass, and it's like all of a sudden,
Dude,
like,
mine are
there's
like Coke
leaves
bottle.
on the trees. I'm like, wow.
Oh, the color.
Oh, the color. But
Dude, and
the
then you do
detail.
acid.
Oh my
It's
god,
so
and it's
great.
all over. And that's when you go into music. So
Glasses
yeah,
on.
that was how I decided. Like I always loved music, and I always knew that I wanted to do something creative, but I was kind of. I didn't really want to necessarily pursue being like in a
player.
band. Yeah, I liked the idea of being on the production side and being involved in a lot of different kinds of projects. And now looking back, of course, like every project's different. We all
You
know
mentioned
that.
Ross
you know.
Hogarth, and he says
Yeah.
exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
He says that what was coming out of his hands wasn't what he was hearing in his head, and,
Yeah.
and he didn't think that he would ever be good enough
Yeah.
to
yeah.
really be a musician full time.
Right. Yeah. And I can definitely connect with that feeling for
Yeah.
sure. But so then I decided, like, based upon that okay, I think that I want to pursue this. So
It's based on a post-it note.
based on a post-it, then I still have them somewhere.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And I did want to continue some kind of schooling because I felt kind of defeated or a little, I don't know what the word is, but I felt
Disappointed in
disappointed in
yourself.
myself. Yes.
Yeah.
So I looked around at schools and you don't have to go to school to do this, but I did look around at schools and I applied to schools. And got into the schools, but the one school that started the soonest was Loyola Marymount University down here in LA. So I could start in the spring, which meant I could start in a couple months after applying. And
wow.
then they gave me, I got some financial aid, grants, scholarships, things like that.
Is that
And
why you teach
so
there now?
I was there, yeah. And now I teach there. That's right.
I love that.
Yeah, part-time teach there. I teach live studio recording and multi-track recording. So
We should get into too. I have no idea how long we've been
I don't
talking.
know
It's
how-
going
yeah.
it goes so easy.
yeah, I can ramble.
Oh no, it's not that. No, you're not alone. Well, you haven't. Everybody thinks that their life isn't interesting, but you've had an interesting journey, and you're pretty young still.
It's
So I'm
fun, yeah.
expecting great things
Ah,
still to
cool.
happen for you. But so you come down and you go to Loyola,
Go to Loyola.
and start to really apply yourself.
And because I had been out of school, been going to community college, things like that. When I got to Loyola, I was really focused.
Yeah.
I mean, I partied a lot, but I was really focused.
Yeah.
And
It helps if you're interested in
it
the
helps.
subject.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I mean, in the that time that was what 2007, I guess. So
Wow.
the industry's changed a lot since then.
Oh, not really.
Well, certain. I feel
Yeah,
like certain things
computers
have.
replace tape machines. That's all
Sure,
that's ever
yeah.
changed for me.
So that's when I met Ross, though. So
good teacher.
He would. We had guest speakers come, and Ross came to the class, and he was really the only guest speaker that still seemed to like music.
Yes.
And I was like, cool, and I'm asking him all these questions, and he's working with musicians that I really enjoy.
Oh,
He's talking about Little Feat, he's
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about
dude.
Marley, he's talking about, and so after class, I chased him down the hall, and I'm like, hey, can I get your number? Like, I'm going to graduate soon, and I know I don't know shit, and I'm looking to figure out what I'm going to do next. And it was either come work at a studio or maybe work for somebody. So out of school, right away, I worked for Ross.
Nice.
And we did, Doobie Brothers. We did some fun stuff with Don Henley. That
Did you
I
ever
don't
come
know.
here with Ross?
Oh yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
wow.
Yeah, every studio I
should
went to.
remember all this, but I don't.
Yeah, and Van Halen. That was, I
yeah.
think, one of the last projects we did together, which was great. and did a project up in Portland with Steve. What's his name from? Oh shit, I'm forgetting his name right now, which is so bad. Anyway, so that was, Ross really taught me how to be a great recording engineer at that time. He's so good at recording drums, recording whatever the hell it is.
Listen, when you get a chance, I'll send you the link, but listen to his episode. Like I said, I was listening to it today.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what we talk about how fun it is to track.
I totally agree.
And how much you learn.
So much, yeah.
And how you really, obviously, we talk about this a lot on the podcast. We talk about how being a recording engineer or a producer or a mixer or someone who works behind the glass.
Yeah.
But it really, you're on all the sides of the glass. Yeah. You're running around on the glass.
Yeah.
But how it's such a mix of art and science,
Absolutely.
It's such an honor and such a privilege.
Yeah.
To be for a musician to allow you to capture their art.
Absolutely.
So it's on you to do the absolute best you can.
Yeah.
Make good audio, but to also get out of the way.
Yeah.
And allow that magic to happen.
And
capture. It's all about capture.
It's about capture.
And allowing that to happen. But the idiosyncrasies and the minutia of moving a mic by a half an inch, not over miking, letting the room do its thing, using the room, the instrument that the room is. The room we're sitting in, Studio 3, is the smallest of the tracking rooms here. But acoustically, it's got
amazing.
It's got a lot going on.
It's the room Pet Sounds is recorded in.
It's got a lot going on in here. But I think that's so important.
Yeah.
To learn that aspect of recording.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and I know Ross. He would go out and he would listen to the guitar amp, move the mic accordingly.
Absolutely.
Get the best tone for the player.
Well, and that's where I worked for Ross for about 3.5 years out of school.
Yeah.
All the studios, home studios, whatever it was, we were together, and he taught me all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I talk to my students about it. It's like, it's one thing to know what kind of microphone it is and all, but why do you choose this microphone? Like, the why is where it's art.
Yeah.
And
there's in some ways it's still the Wild West because there's stuff coming out all the time. And you can take this is a typical drum mic, this RE20 or this 421 or whatever.
Sure.
But then you might go, I'm going to put it on a saxophone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see what the fuck it sounds like.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to see how it works.
Experiment.
Yeah, you got to experiment.
So
happy accidents
happen. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So Ross was very instrumental in me becoming a strong recording engineer,
so cool.
and mixing engineer too, because we mixed that Van Halen, right? That was the last record that we worked on together. I was his assistant. He was mixing it. But I always had a little notepad in my pocket. And when Ross was doing things, I'd to write it down. And we really developed a great working relationship where at kind of the last year of us working together, I would go to the studios ahead of time, get things set up, and then he could come in, just kind of adjust stuff. And we had this really great fluid workflow together. And I still carry all of that. It's what makes me passionate about analog recording.
That's the other thing we talked about was being prepared and how important that is. And this is about you today, and I'll direct this at you because I fully believe, and I'm going to say this probably in every episode.
Yeah.
If you're not nervous when you're going into a session, you don't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't mean doubting your ability or being, anxious.
Sure.
But if you're
not debilitating.
Not debilitating. But if you're not nervous, then you don't care.
You don't care. Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? So what was the first project that you did on your own?
Well, let's see. There's two answers to that question. When I was working for Ross, when I was at LMU, I was making some records and albums, stuff like that. And I was working for Ross. I also, on the side, worked on projects, small. Some of them did some stuff, some of them didn't. But I would say that when I stopped working with Ross was when I started working with Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros.
Oh, gotcha.
So I had a number of years, learning and all that, but that was the first big project that I dove into on my own.
They're on Vagrant, right? Are they still?
They're on Vagrant.
Yeah.
Well, they're not, it's I don't know if some of those albums are still in Vagrant, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I had met Alex, lead singer of Edward Sharpe, when he was lead singer of a band called I'm a Robot, which was
Okay.
one of I loved that band when I was here.
I
Yeah.
don't know that band.
Oh,
I'll have to check it out.
I'll show you
I'm
after.
a Robot?
It's awesome. Yeah.
I will yell at
Yeah.
my Echo today and go, hey, play I'm a Robot.
Yeah. So we had connected then, and then he went off and did his thing, and then I heard there's actually, if I recall, there's actually 2 versions of Home, the big song.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know what the differences are, but I do remember there was some version that I heard on KCRW, and I recognized his voice instantly from I'm a Robot. So I texted out for
Edwards?
Alex. Yeah.
Oh, Alex.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And texted him, said, really cool, great, like love the new band.
Where did
all
they
that.
come up with that name?
So let's see. Alex was writing a book about, I think, and again, it's better for him because I might bundle this or mess this up, but I think that he was writing a book about a guy who like came back from I don't want to say came back from the dead because that's not what happened, but something about a guy named Edward Sharpe who was trying to save the people
Or he had
do
amnesia or something?
Yeah, and then the magnetic zeros is a mathematical formula that zero actually has what's the word? Zero is not just zero.
It has a polarity?
It's like 0.01, 0.02.
Right.
It's got a value.
It's like
It
pi.
has a value. Yeah, it has a value to it. In fact, when we were making the Edward Sharpe albums, NASA came out with the magnetic zeros formula, and they Twitter was going on, and they tweeted, "What do you think about that, Edward Sharpe?" And then we got a kick out of that. Yeah, it was really cool. Again, that question should be directed at Alex because I don't really, I don't totally remember.
There's no judgment here.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah. So we knew each other loosely, and I really liked the art that he was making, and so I made a point in my life to reach out to him every handful of months. I'd finish something, I'd reach out to him, and he might not respond.
Did he know you?
Yeah, we met years before when he was in Edward, and I'm a Robot. And if we were at Coachella or whatever it was, we might link up and say hi, but nothing too deep,
But you finally
But we
worked together.
So when I got done with the Van Halen record with Ross, I sent him.
Now you got some credit.
Yeah, you got some credit. Yeah, and I said, hey, just finished the Van Halen record with Ross, and how you doing? And about a week later, he called me and said, we've moved into a studio in Ojai. We need some help putting it together. Oh. So I was driving from Actually, I was in a session with Ross when I got that call, and I left the session and drove to Ojai. Ross was very supportive. He said, go,
he would get it if anyone does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I drove to Ojai, and I drove back and forth from Ojai to LA every day for months and months. And putting the studio together, putting the Trident in, buying the gear, doing the thing. And then eventually I decided just to rent a house and move there, not really knowing what the future was going to hold, but knowing that I've just put this whole facility together. And as soon as they want to start recording,
you should be the guy that runs it.
It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't even
faith.
a question.
We call that faith.
Yeah. So then we started getting into their second album, which is titled Here. And by the time we got to mixing, Alex said to me, he's like, you should probably move here. I was like, dude, I moved here like 9 months ago. Like, oh, good. So yeah, we did Here at that studio in Ojai. We also scored the Robert Redford film that the soundtrack got a Golden Globe, All Is Lost.
Yeah.
And then we worked on LP3.
What year was that?
That would have been like 2012, 2011,
so there
2012.
was a gig, and I don't know if I did get it or didn't get it.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you that my sister-in-law, who I'm going to see tonight, Holly Stewart, she worked at Vagrant. I don't even know if she still does. I'll find out tonight. But she was trying to get me the Edward Sharpe gig, and then I think they might have gone to United for something.
We went to United to mix that's right, yes. So we were mixing LP3 at United.
Okay.
And so we went in for a month, and we left
that was
4 months
again,
later.
We talked about
I think we
booking
left
envy. Yeah. I wanted that
I
gig.
think we had to leave for a few days because Beck needed to get in there. But yeah, I mean, I brought enough clothes from Ojai for like we went in for 10 days, left 4 months later. That's what it was. I only had...
As a studio manager, that's a dream come true,
Yeah.
as long as you can move stuff out of the way and let it happen.
Absolutely, yeah. So we did that, and yeah.
And so since then, you have your own place. I know. What's the name of your place?
My studio is called Infinite Spin. It's in Sherman
Spin.
Oaks. Yeah,
Nice.
I jumped around. I actually, after that Edward Sharpe album, I ended up moving in, took over Alan Yoshida's room at United for 3.5 years.
Oh, durr.
Yeah, and that was my mix room, production room, and anytime I needed to jump on anything, I'd jump in B or A.
Nice.
And loved being over
Rob
there.
is one of the Robin Goodchild was one of the first episodes.
Really,
We did
yeah.
the video,
Rob's great. He
Amazing.
was the manager. He was there the
He's
whole
at
time I was
Volume
there.
Studios in Inglewood now. I'm going to go tomorrow,
Oh.
and I'm going to see it.
You got to tell him I said hi.
Yeah, I totally will.
Yeah.
And then Keith and I are supposed to go speak to the students at UCLA.
Nice.
I have no idea about what.
You
but
should
yeah.
come and talk to LMU kids too.
I would love to.
You should. Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
It's funny because after I saw you Monday, I called Steve Genowick, and he's coming on Monday now because he lives next door to LMU, and we were talking, and I called him. Yeah, Monday.
Okay.
Monday.
I can't go this coming Monday, but
You should go,
I'll come speak to them sometimes. And basically, I'll say, live with your parents till you're 50 and become an attorney.
That's right.
Yeah.
Be an eye doctor.
Yeah. Be an eye doctor. So I love all this. We're gonna wrap up pretty soon, but I love all this, and we can do more than one. We can have episode 2.
We could.
I
yeah,
can do
I
whatever
could
I
talk
want.
for so long. You
Dude,
know.
But it's interesting, dude. Madagascar.
I know, it's crazy.
No, it's so
we didn't talk
cool.
about a lot of music, but yeah.
Yeah, we did talk about a lot of music. We'll talk about more music, but I love your passion for what you do.
Thank you.
Respect you immensely
Thank
for
you.
caring
You too.
about
Absolutely.
what
you keep this industry going.
Oh well, thanks.
Yeah,
I wish. I hope
yeah.
somebody you got listening to that. You people,
Yeah.
book studio time.
Book
But
studio time.
I've
yeah.
never been anti-home studio because I was telling you the other day. I think artist empowerment's a good thing.
Yeah.
If you can roll out of bed and put down
And
your
work
idea,
on
I
that,
think
yeah.
that's a great
Sure.
thing. Just know that we're out there, and if you need us to
Yeah, absolutely. We've
enhance
got-
your capture.
Yeah, I wish my studio was used more for outside projects. You know, it's generally just projects for myself and a couple things, but we've got it's a full analog facility.
Nice.
And I'm pretty much now post-COVID, I feel like there's kind of a new thing, and I'm leaning in on
I'm
this.
buzzing now.
I'm really leaning in on the analog stuff. I like that process, and it really
I'm
allows
gonna
me
hit the
to.
sorry can't talk right now button. All right, good.
Who
Sorry
is
about
it? We
that.
can answer it.
It's
No.
a good friend of mine, Laura Doré, who I love, Laura Roberts, who works at ESP Guitars.
Nice.
That's who that was.
Nice.
Well, I think that you're still very. You probably don't think so, but I think you're still at the beginning of your adventure. I
You're
think
probably right.
I'm hoping that we get to hear a lot more records that
Absolutely.
your ears and hands
Yeah.
have been on.
Absolutely.
And is there anything cool that you're getting ready to do that you want to talk about, or that you can talk about?
There's a few projects next year that are going to
Ooh,
be
all
really cool. One
secret.
of them might come here.
Oh, please
yeah,
call
one
me.
of them might come here. The artist is going to be coming into Los Angeles in the second week of December, so we're gonna.
We will happy to do
so
a
I'm
tour.
gonna bring her by. Yeah. So we won't say any names right now, just because until the money's in the account.
Oh yeah, you don't want to jinx it.
We don't say.
Well, and the other thing that I just want to say is that obviously I talk to a lot of engineers and producers, but I
Yes.
want to say that everyone has
Yeah.
a different path.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, you all up learning how to record.
Yeah.
But I think the things that inspired you along the way, it's so important for people to listen to this. If you're a
Yeah.
young person listening, trying to figure out like, oh, I'm floundering, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
There's no harm in figuring out what you don't want to do.
That's sometimes the most important thing.
I say that
Yeah.
to people in interviews.
Yeah.
And there's so many avenues in audio. I mean, you could be a live sound person, you can be a front of house, you could be a monitor mixer, you could be you can work in post. There's a lot of opportunity in sports. We were talking about sports.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the people that have been recording, everything's in HD now, even like high school games.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that have been recording all the things that we love. I happen to like watching car racing.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
So like
absolutely.
Speed Vision,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's
I like
awesome.
driving fast too.
Yeah, me too. Although I drive a Subaru, but
Yeah.
it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
And so all of these areas, there is no like, oh, I can't, I want to be in the studio, but that wasn't really right for me.
Yeah.
I mean, working in a commercial studio is different than working in a home studio or working for a composer or working in a post house. So I just want to encourage people to sort of stumble along the path. If you're rock climbing,
absolutely.
don't fall.
I think too that, at this point, I feel like it's important if you have a niche to lean in on that.
Sure, yeah.
You don't like there's this funny thing that's kind of happened where everyone has to be a jack of all trades.
No, you don't.
And it doesn't really serve you.
No.
I think it's important actually as you develop in your career.
You could be a string guy, scoring guy.
Absolutely.
You could be the horn guy.
I tell my students you could be a vocal recorder, and that's what you do. And that's a great business.
That's a huge thing.
Huge thing.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
I mean, that takes we talk about this, and it's so important. When you're an engineer, you know, if there's a producer in the room and you're lucky enough to have a cohort or a partner in crime, eliciting performance, but it's about making the artist feel comfortable. Eliciting performance, it's always going to be about the song and the music. It's always going to be about how does that make you feel.
Right.
You know, and our job, your job, is to capture that as best you can and not fuck it up.
Yeah. And be there as part of a team. No single person is bigger than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? I think that's why I dove into this. All the sports and stuff we talk about. It's a subservient position to absolutely.
The music.
Yeah. I like being part of the team.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, and you gotta be a good hang.
Totally,
which you're totally.
You gotta be a good hang.
You're good. You're
totally
a good
screwed if you're not.
You're a great hang.
Yeah, you are too.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I think you're totally a great hang. We're gonna go drink some.
We're gonna,
in a minute. Yeah, that's
right.
gonna happen. But I'm gonna close today and just say, Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
And we can totally.
Let's do it. I live 5 minutes from here.
Episode 2. So. What's your studio called again?
Infinite Spin.
Infinite Spin.
Yep.
It is available for rental with or without Matt. With or without Matt. But if you don't want to pay for Matt, you got to bring somebody that Matt trusts.
That's right.
Because you're going to be using Matt's mics and Matt's stuff. And he's got those cool instruments from Madagascar that you could put on your record.
That's right.
What was the one called? The Tulare or
Tulare? No, that's the name of a place.
The
I don't know.
I
think I was.
I want to play the bamboo vertical harp.
The cylinder harp. Yeah,
the
it's very cool.
Harp. I'm into that.
Yeah.
So I just thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks everybody for listening and for helping. And thank you, Nader. Thank you, Keith.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you, God.
Thanks for recording us through the Neve Pre's and the DBX 160 compressors.
Yeah. It's a tried and A range in there that I don't know if he's using it at all.
But it's cool.
Nader, we don't know what kind of cameras do you have? We don't even know what kind of cameras you have. I never talked about your cameras.
Canon and a Sony.
Canon and Sony.
I have a Sony. I have a Sony. I'm an amateur photographer. But that's a story for another time. But that's it.
That's
We're going to wrap this
Thanks so
episode.
much.
Oh, no,
That's great.